Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lauren and this is Chicago Reacts. Today I am going to be reacting to the Failure of Fyre Festival by Internet Historian. And I, again, was online during the Fyre Festival fiasco. Say that 3 times fast. Fyre Festival fiasco, Fyre Festival fiasco, Fyre Festival fiasco. Ha! Did it. Say it 5 times fast. You do that. I'm not going to. In any case, I do know a tiny bit about this, but it's been a while and I don't remember most of it. There was poor planning. It was hot. People, like, events left. Lots of nonsense. I'm looking forward to remembering all of the actual nonsense that went down. But before we get going with that, I just wanted to thank you so much to our Patreons who help support our channel. And we really couldn't do it without you. And if you do become a Patreon, you do get some fun perks. And if you can't become a Patreon right now, that is also okay. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Just let us know what it is that you'd like us to watch. Help me understand certain things. I sometimes ask questions. I like it when you respond to them. So thanks again so much for tuning in. And for now, let us get to the Failure of Fyre Festival. Allons-y.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're probably wondering how I got this tan. Well, let me tell you the story. It begins with a man by the name of Billy McFarland. Billy was a good boy. At 22,
is he Seth? No, I know he's not.
He had dreams of becoming a super wealthy entrepreneur, dropping out of college to start a business called Magnesis. Over the years, he managed to network with some powerful people. One of them was Ja Rule. Translated from German, I believe it means, yes, rule. Over drinks, he pitched an idea. Here's an accurate recreation of that event.
Mr. Rule,
he says,
I have a brilliant idea.
Like, word, like, yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, this thing too wild, fucking his bitch.
Precisely. Great minds think alike. It will be 2 weeks of absolute luxury in the Bahamas.
I forgot that Ja Rule was involved with this. I totally forgot about that.
Mr. Rule. Promotion began in late 2016. Fyre promised beaches, ladies, gourmet food, luxury villas.
That woman had sand all up and down her back. That does... They couldn't have removed that? Like, obviously, I think they took some pictures with she was lying down, but, like, that doesn't... She just has sand everywhere. Someone incorporate, you know, I hate sand, it's coarse and rough and irritating. Just write that somewhere.
Ladies, gourmet food, luxury villas, hosted on a private island in the Bahamas called Fyre Cay, once owned by Pablo Escobar. VIP tickets up to $250,000. Swimming pigs, Blink 182, Major Lazer, a steel drum. Welcome to Fyre Festival.
Oh, that was good. I like the Jurassic Park thing. It's like, it seems gonna be amazing, and then it's just trauma. That's great.
Weeks of your life. I bought my ticket immediately. The day arrives. About 5,000 people are making their way directly from Miami Airport, and there are huge delays to get to Fyre Cay. Although I shouldn't say
Isn't it
Fyre
Key?
Cay, because it doesn't exist.
Also, I thought that was pronounced Key. Also, did he actually go? That'd be interesting if the guy behind Internet Historian actually went to Fyre Festival.
In the marketing, they referenced this island, which is actually Norman's Cay, run by George Jung, not Pablo, by the way. But that doesn't matter because we're not going there either. We're going to Great Exuma. Private island? Forget that. Population, 7,000. In fact, we're basically in the parking lot of a sandals resort. In the end, only about 500 of us make it to the island. The remaining customers' flights are cancelled. You're about to see why. We're hauled onto a school bus and taken to the site, a gravel lot with a bunch of FEMA tents.
Oh no!
Remember those promises of luxurious villas? Pranked ya? Enjoy your stay, and don't forget your complimentary cup of UNICEF rice.
Turn this bus right.
Once there, no one knows whose tent belongs to whom, so staff try getting everyone into a line. Then they abandon that idea and tell everyone it's a free-for-all. Expecting a party, this guy took all of his drugs on the flight over. He's the only one having any fun. Everyone else is grumpy because it's been 5 hours and there's no food. In lieu of food, staff decide to start handing out tons of free tequila. This only exacerbates problems.
Oh no! Oh no, that's not good. I didn't know they did that. I don't remember hearing about the tequila thing. I remember hearing there was no food and no shelter. And I feel like I remember there being a lack of water, but that... Uh-oh.
Problems. Once the food does arrive, it's just as delectable as promised, though. Gourmet craft single there. A few hours later, bags arrive on a shipping container. It was getting dark and there was no lighting.
So everybody's walking around with their cell phones trying to look for their luggage.
Plenty of people had their luggage stolen. But don't worry, if you have any valuables, the festival advertised top-notch security. Here it is. But no one told guests they had to provide their own lock. There are rumors of muggings by the locals.
I heard rumors of feral dogs.
A tent supposedly caught fire. The closest beach has a rampant shark problem. Staff don't have any uniforms or walkie-talkies, so no one knows who's in charge, and the people who are in charge can't talk to each other. Here's the bathroom. Many staff quit after only a couple of hours.
Yeah.
For the few customers who were willing to just make the most of it and enjoy the music, they had some bad news too. All of the major musical acts pulled out. In fact, Major Lazer wasn't even confirmed to go in the first place. The event was promoted as cashless, so all people had were these useless Disney bucks on their Fyre band, which meant they couldn't buy anything or catch a cab if they were stranded. And even with only 500 people, there are too few tents and beds, so everyone is just stealing each other's. And for any of you thinking you could just escape to the sandals, bad luck. It's peak season and they are absolutely full. People are reaching out to the embassy for help. After a few hours, most people chose to go back to the airport, and the rest were forced back home when the Bahamian government stepped in. The festival was closed.
I also didn't remember that the government stepped in. Oh my god.
But the exodus from the island made its own problems. Guests spent hours dehydrated and hung over in a hot building. Why staff locked the door isn't entirely known, but one girl fainted before they were finally reopened. Everyone gets home and that was the end of it. Except for me. I was rescuing someone, helping them out, and I got lost in the woods. Anyway, back at home, the shitstorm on social media was just ramping up. The Reddit Fyre Festival was created, and it started documenting everything that went wrong at the event. People were circulating a fake tweet by Jar that the whole thing was a social experiment. Some wholesome...
Okay, because, oh my god, oh, there's the ball pit. No, the social experiment thing, I think, came from, a thing that Cole Sprouse did, I think, on Tumblr, where he joined Tumblr, and it was like this whole thing, and then he just dropped it after like a month saying it was a social experiment, and it was like a big thing for a while. I think that was what happened. I think that's why they had the Ja Rule doing a social experiment. Like that was the joke, because Cole Sprouse did it. And I remember that was kind of memed for a while, that like every time something went wrong that a celebrity was involved in, something would go around a little bit later saying that, oh, it was a social experiment. Thanks, Cole Sprouse.
Some festival memes there. And it quickly turned into a marketing case study of what not to do. In response, Fyre started serving cease and desist letters to stop people from saying mean things about them.
Oh, don't make me.
Mr. Rule released an official statement online, both apologizing and saying that it's not his fault. Interestingly, he wasn't even on the island at the time. He was giving a concert in Chicago. Although, to their credit, they offer everyone a full refund.
Yeah, something.
Or you could always let it ride and opt in for tickets to 2018's Fyre Festival.
And a VIP ticket to next year's Fyre Festival if they decide to go. Exactly.
Next year?
Meanwhile, Billy is on full damage control. He claims that a storm came in the night before and changed all of the marketing into lies.
We got to a point that we were very excited about on Wednesday night, with how the two sites looked, and we got hit by a big storm.
But
Also, that was way too close to his face. That was, ugh. Get it back up, please, sir. Also, that sounds like lies.
apologies weren't enough. A few days later, and the first lawsuit was served.
Attorney Ben Misalis doesn't think it's funny. He's filed a $100 million class action lawsuit.
That man doesn't look like he's ever thought anything is funny a single day in his life. Also, the hilariousness of this lighting. Why is it so dramatic? It looks like it's from Law and Order or something. Like, it's like, look at this blank paper really intently for a while, Mr. Lawyer Man.
Suit against the organizers.
Then another suit. Then 7 more. Then the feds got involved, claiming Billy had committed wire fraud. Serious charges with serious prison time. More on that later.
But first,
Right now, let's go into the history
Okay.
of Fyre Festival.
Let's go.
The marketing was clever. To get the word out, they got in touch with about 400 influencers, Instagram celebrities, and they offered them VIP tickets or cash to promote the event. They even managed to get Kendall Jenner to post about it. Rumor has it she was
remember
paid
that.
$250,000 for this post. Their marketing worked though. The festival sold out. So how did it go so wrong? Let's start with the money. During the planning process, a consultant came in and said the festival would cost $50 million and require another year of organization.
They should have planned this 2 whole years out.
This is after they made all the promises, and they had nothing near that amount, so they started cutting expenses way back. Remember those luxury villas? They were going to cost $10 million alone, so they scrapped them. Now everyone gets a tent. Deposits for the bands? Nope. Food, infrastructure, staff, all were cut back. But, you may ask, how did they have so little cash if they sold out? It's the price. It was way too low. Now wait a minute.
I thought it was
up to $250,000 a ticket is too low. In fact, on social media, people were so merciless and unsympathetic towards the guests because they thought it was a bunch of rich kids paying for tickets with a starting price of $12,000. And you can thank
That's what I
fake
remember.
news for that assumption.
Oh.
You see that number repeated everywhere. But actually, very few were paying even close to that amount. The standard price was around $1,200, which, if you think about 2 weeks...
Okay. All right, yeah. That makes a lot more. That's $1,200. That's not a lot for that. I mean, I would have imagined it would be a little, but for 2 weeks, maybe closer to 5,000 for like a really, like... Also, this is a very weirdly shaped cloud, and I'm going to continue
weeks in
past
the
it.
Bahamas with practically all of your expenses taken care of.
Yeah, that's like nothing. $1,200, that's nothing. That's less than I spent on plane tickets to Spain. Like, that's, oh, I mean, almost. It's, yeah, it's about less. That, yeah, no, it is. Because I think as I had to, there was a lot of issues, and I had to change my flight, and it was too close, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it ended up being, I mean, that's, and that was for like, that was for less than 2 weeks, and I didn't have any of my, like, and I was staying with a friend. So like, that's less than I spent on my trip where I didn't have to pay for room or board or food for most of the time. That's $1,200 is nothing.
Pretty bloody good. In fact, some tickets were as low as $500.
Ooh.
6 months ago, got together and got the early bird special for about $500. And this covered food, transportation, ticket, and somewhere to sleep.
How on earth were they going to break even with that? They weren't.
Yeah, that also just sounds, it's like, I wouldn't have believed it. Like, that does sound too good to be true.
And on the flip side, there's no proof whatsoever that anyone purchased a $250,000 ticket. So basically, they're stuffed.
Yeah, somebody definitely would have come forward if they'd actually had to pay that much money. They would have come forward with receipts.
Billy has to start taking tough short-term loans just to keep afloat. Which, by the way, is why they did the Fyre bans. It was to raise cash. It's reported that up to $2 million in Firebucks in-game currency was spent in the lead-up to the event. but this wasn't even close to enough. Practically broke, and with the event only a few weeks away, the more experienced staff suggested postponing. But thanks to those short-term loans, he couldn't. So he insisted on going forward.
Uh-oh.
Those staff tried to control the damage by telling celebrities and public figures not to go.
How was the Fyre Festival?
So, Billy and Jar are in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
But let's please have one failed festival that has a sequel. Well, Billy is out on $300,000 bail. His assets were frozen as at May 18th. He dropped his expensive attorneys. He's selling his property in New York. He tried to sell Magnesis for $150,000, but it was cancelled for being fraudulent. Massively in debt and with no hope of paying it back, Fyre went into involuntary bankruptcy. And that is the end of Fyre Festival.
Bye, Fyre Festival.
I'll keep you posted about whether Billy is going to jail. So long, Fyre Festival. You were too beautiful for this world. And as for me, well, it's time to go home.
So I appreciate his like Castaway jokes and the Lion King thing. Bye. Oh my goodness. Okay.
This video is sponsored.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, autoplay. I did not realize that was still on. We're having fun with technology. Anyway. Okay, so there were some things that I didn't remember about that. I did forget about the Kendall Jenner thing. I did forget about the social experiment thing. There were a bunch of stuff actually that I didn't recall. So that was fun. I always enjoy remembering things that I was present for, but not actively paying a lot of attention to, except to be vaguely smug about. Like in 2016, I was like, oh, Fyre Festival, obviously it's going to be a joke. And then it was, and I was like, haha, I told you so. Tough answer. So that was my that was my experience of Fyre Festivals. Like, it didn't sound right. It also, and I remember that was sort of where in my place on the internet, we were all like, we did hear that 12,000 to 250 number a lot. So it was just like these, you know, these rich kids are gonna go and lap it up, but it's nice to know that it wasn't actually that. It's actually worse to know that it wasn't actually that. I do feel bad because now I'm like, if I saw something like that, it would still probably feel a little too good to be true, but also $1,200 is more than reasonable for a 2-week stay in the Bahamas. I would never expect anything to be that cheap. So, I mean, like, that's my, you know, how X many years down the line, my understanding of how money works is different, I suppose. But that's a pity. That sucks. And it's like, you know, and it doesn't seem like McFarland, like, you know, it doesn't seem like he meant for any. I think he seemed like he wanted it to go well. I feel like I thought for it to be like fraud, you had to know. Like, I thought it was supposed to be like you had to know that it was fake and you were still promoting it. Not that like you thought that maybe it just seems like he was kind of an idiot and maybe should have finished business school, you know? Like, I don't know. That's what I thought. I thought that it had to be proven that you knew the whole time that things were not going to be as promised, and then that you like intentionally stole people's money. I thought that's what that was supposed to be, but I don't know. I am not a lawyer. And I didn't really pay that much attention in my mass communication law class in college, so I don't even know if that was mentioned in that particular class that I took. So anyway, it's always fun to learn about these failed festivals. It's always kind of disappointing too, because it's like you want something to go well. I mean, it's the Schadenfreude of it all is also fun after the fact. But it's like, I do feel bad for the people who wanted to go, who were really excited, who thought it was going to be a lot of fun, who thought that they were getting the deal of a lifetime. I mean, and like now they certainly have a story to tell, but it's certainly not the story they wanted to. And that's always sad. It's like, that is always disappointing. And I hope that they're cool now. If you knew someone who went to Fyre Festival, or if you went to Fyre Festival, like, let me know down in the comments. That, it's disappointing. And I'm sorry if I was smug on the internet about it in 2016, because I probably was. Anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me on this journey to Fyre Festival in 2016. Very much appreciate you and appreciate that you were there. Again, I'm sorry for some of the technical difficulties I've been having today with some of these videos. Not sure exactly what's going on, but I wanted to get them out to you. So thanks again for joining me. Again, my name is Lauren, and it has been a pleasure. If you want to comment, subscribe, like, share these videos, we really, really appreciate that. And we do try to communicate with you all in the comments as well. And if you find it within your hearts and wallets to become a member of Patreon, you do get content early. You do get some extra stuff. You get to see unedited versions, all sorts of fun little hints and all sorts of fun stuff if you become a Patreon. Again, we appreciate you very much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.